So I'm standing on the edge of a plane, 13,000 feet in the air, wondering what the actual hell am I doing jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. The wind is roaring, all the familiar landmarks are tiny little dots in the distance, and my heart is thumping like a pair of drums through my chest and into my throat. Now, the interesting thing is life does this to us sometimes. And as I stand there on the plane, realizing that this is happening, every fiber of my being tells me to turn back, abort mission, but it is way too late. The instructor's already started the countdown. Now, I have ADHD, so I miss damn near all the details, but his instructions were very clear. 1, 2, 3, jump. So here we are. 1, 2, and then we're free falling. But wait a minute, where was the 3? I was told there would be a 3. Why was there no 3? And as I'd later learn, on 3, most people panic and grab the doors, and that's where they get hurt. That's what I learned when I went skydiving, that and be sure to wear the dark-colored pants. Now, I thought I'd be the one that was in control, but my instructor had a different plan altogether. Skip 3. And as I hurtled towards the earth, screaming as if my life depended on it, which it kind of did, something amazing happened. The fear dissolved, the panic turned into exhilaration, and I realized that first leap wasn't about courage, because being honest, I had none in that moment. The first leap was about trust, trusting in others, trusting the process, and trusting myself. Now, sometimes you have a plan to jump on 3, and life kicks you out at 2. They say 60% of people rank fear of failure above public speaking and even death. Death. That means 60% of you would rather be hit by a bus or struck by lightning than to switch places with me right now. But failure isn't the bottom of some cliff, it's a trampoline. Now, skydiving is a controlled free fall, right? But the one thing I do know is the only thing scarier than leaping into the unknown is staying right where you are. Now, as I stand here today as a year-old man, I wish I could tell you that this was the first time or the last time it felt like I was free falling. Flashback to the 4th grade, I failed so many classes, I would have failed lunch if that was possible. My teachers labeled me everything you can imagine: unmotivated, troublemaker, problem child. My report cards were so red, they looked like they'd been graded by stoplight. My mother used to say, you could be unstoppable if you chose to be. My father would say, stop being an idiot, which is kind of the same message if you think about it. 50% of successful CEOs say they struggled academically in their youth. So I was in good company. I was failing at school, I was failing in life, and I was failing myself. And then one day, my grandmother, who had seen me at my absolute worst, came to me in a dream. And she said, Master Charles, she called me Master Charles. She says, heroes aren't born, they're made, and they're made in the fire. And that moment, something clicked. That moment planted a seed. And I realized that failure wasn't the end of my story, it was the beginning of something much, much greater. See, every hero has an origin story. Mine just came with a lot of red ink. But that's the thing about failure. It feels a lot like standing on the edge of that airplane. The leap is terrifying, but the fall, that's where all the magic happens. And yet we've been conditioned to see failure as the villain, the end. We avoid it, we deny it, we act like it's not lurking around every corner. But let me ask you this, what if failure wasn't the enemy? What if failure was the hero? What if failure was exactly what you needed to get to the next level? See, every time we fail, we're planting a seed. Some seeds take time to sprout, but with the right courage and the right mindset, they can grow into something extraordinary. Take Walt Disney, for example. Fired from his newspaper job for, get this, lacking imagination. His first animation company went bankrupt. Now, if he had let that stop him, there'd be no Disney, no Mickey Mouse, there'd be none of that global empire that has shaped millions of lives, mine included. See, Walt Disney didn't let his failures define him, he let them refine him. How about Steve Jobs? Fired from the very company he co-founded, Apple. Now, he didn't let that stop him. He went on to do some amazing things, but could you imagine being ousted from your very own creation? Now, he went on to start companies like Next and Pixar, and later he would return to Apple to transform it into the global powerhouse that it is today. See, Steve Jobs didn't just take a leap forward, he took a huge leap forward. We've all heard the story of Thomas Edison. He once famously said, "I didn't fail, I found 10,000 ways that won't work." Now, could you imagine his persistence when inventing the light bulb, an invention that changed the course of human history? Without those 10,000 so-called failures, we all would be doing this in the dark. Well, you are. How about Oprah Winfrey? Fired from her very first anchor job for being too emotional. They said she wasn't cut out for television. Now, she could have taken that information and left media altogether. Instead, she went on to create the Oprah Winfrey Show and became one of the most influential people in all of the world, because what others saw as failure, Oprah saw as fuel. So the question isn't, why did I fail? The question is, what can I grow from this? Every time you leap into failure, you're planting a seed of potential. And it's up to you to grow it into something extraordinary. See, failure isn't the enemy. It's your greatest teacher. It recalculates your route like GPS, getting you closer to success. And just like GPS, when you miss a turn, it doesn't yell at you, "You failure, you disaster." No, it calmly recalculates and finds the next best route, mine in an Australian accent. But that's what failure does in life. It's not judgment, it's rerouting. Here's a quick framework, a simple hack to reframe how you look at failure. Every time you stumble, ask yourself these two questions. What did I learn from this? And how can I use this to level up? Suddenly, failure is not something to dread, it's something we seek out. Because every failure is a recalibration. It's getting you closer to where you're meant to be. Now, Cory, what fuels this relentless pursuit of progress? Thank you for asking. It's my favorite four-letter word. Well, it's one of my favorite four-letter words. Grit. You know it. It is that unshakable drive to keep moving forward even when the odds are stacked up against you. Michael Jordan had it. He's known as the greatest basketball player of all time, and I am not accepting debates on this topic. But did you know that 26 times in his career, he missed the game-winning shot? That's 26 times that his teammates put the ball and their trust in his hands, and he missed. Did he let that stop him? No. He let it fuel him. He once said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." He understood that failure was a lot like lifting weights. And just like every failure burns, just like every rep burns, every failure stings. But over time, you get stronger. See, grit isn't about getting it right every time. It's about showing up every time, no matter how bad it hurts. Now, the results, once we can embrace failure as a part of the process, the results are magical. Instead of seeing that failure as a wall blocking your path, it becomes a rung on a ladder, lifting you higher and higher. Those results are growth, real, unstoppable growth. It's not magic, it's choice. The choice to leap, the choice to fail, and the choice to grow. Failure plants the seeds. Reframing failure waters those seeds with lessons and resilience. And grit gives you the strength to keep on going no matter how long it takes. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It doesn't stop you, it shapes you. It's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a whole new chapter. So here's my challenge to you. When you walk out of here today, do a couple things, but the first thing is, every time you think about what failure has done, I want you to understand that failure can be your greatest asset. So here's the challenge. The next time failure knocks you down, and it will knock you down, don't just get up and dust yourself off. Leap forward with purpose. Fail even harder with resilience and grow stronger with every setback. Instead of letting failure define your limits, let it shatter them. Every step, every stumble, every so-called disaster is getting you closer to becoming that hero of your own story. And if you're going to be the hero of your own story, write one you'd be damn proud to tell. And when you walk out of here today, don't just remember my words. I mean, definitely remember my words. But when you walk out of here today, think about what failure has taught you. Think about the lessons. Think about all those leaps, the daring ones you took, the ones that made your stomach drop. Think about those stumbles that left you bruised, the ones that felt like they were the end, but they were actually the beginning of something much better. And don't overlook those moments of growth, those hard-fought victories that were only made possible because you refused to give up. Every leap, every stumble, every moment of grit and growth, these are the steps that are bringing you closer to becoming that hero of your own story. So get up, leap boldly, fail fearlessly, and grow unapologetically. Your story is waiting for its next great chapter, so make it epic. And as my grandmother once said, heroes aren't born, they're made. And they're made in the fire, and every fire you're facing right now is shaping you up to be the unstoppable, resilient, courageous, non-idiot you were born to be. So go ahead, leap, fail, grow. The world is waiting to see what you become. Thank you.